Let's install the NK300 on the PWR129, shall we? So if you're new to the channel, I have been running the NK180 Pro for almost 2 years now. It's almost the holidays, and the old mistress here deserved an upgrade. So we have upgraded to the 3 horsepower NK300, and we're revamping our motor lift system with something a little unorthodox you guys have maybe never seen before. Without further ado though, let's crack this thing open. I'm gonna show you guys what comes in the box. Let's get to rigging. Our first order of business is of course taking off our NK180. And we'll show you the mounting bracket once we open the box, but this has served me well for almost 2 years, and it's time we retire you and go into a good home. Here she is in all of her glory, a big box. First and foremost, you got your mount bracket. I actually already have 2 of these, so we're gonna keep this as a spare. The controller and the NK180 controller and NK300 controller are the same, so you can interchange these if you want. For the sake of the video, we are going to swap. I want the new controller. Sorry, Caleb. And of course, the moment we are waiting for. Save this. These make really good inserts for battery boxes and things like that. And we'll talk about this in the video too, because we needed a 36-volt battery and we made a box for it. So keep this, the motor. There she is, right there. All right, so your install kit is going to come with your battery cabling, and I'll show you how I run it to my battery box. Your lift retractor pulleys, we're gonna put these aside because I'm gonna show you my way of doing the motor lift. These are your pulleys for the motor lift system, kill switch magnets, carabiner clip. Make sure you put these in a good spot. These are for your motor pins. These screw onto the ends of the bars. The motor lift support bar. These are the screws for locking it down to your kayak, and like I said, we already have ours installed. And then this is for your steering, but if you're using the Wizard FCS, you're not gonna use this, and I'll show you why. Here's your controller. It is completely different than the 180 Pros. I don't know if they've changed it since I first got the 180 Pro, but it already comes with an inline circuit here and a different connector. And here is your cabling that runs to the back where the motor is. This is actually shorter than the one that was provided before, so we'll have to measure our distances. Last but not least, our motor mount. And like I said, we're not gonna be installing this because I already ran my steering cabling through and it's already mounted, but this is what the bracket looks like. And the 180 Pro and the 300 are both interchangeable on this bracket if you ever should upgrade. All right, we stripped all of our accessories off so we can do this. We're gonna walk through the foot steering first. I'm gonna show you how, if you were just getting the FCS Wizard, you would set it up. It takes 2 seconds, it's very easy. And then we'll move into installing the rest of the motor, installing our new controller, and setting up our motor lift system and the trim adjustment on the 300. So the PWR already comes with Spectra cord installed, and that's for your stock rudder, okay? And you can see inside of the Wizard there, it is wrapped around the inside and tied off right here. And to adjust this, you just pull this out and twist it. Now where this cable is ran is all the way back to your rudder puck here. And from the factory, you'll notice they come intertwined like this. So all you're gonna do is undo these 2 screws. Do not pull this through, otherwise you'll have to fish new tubing. Do not pull this wire through to the other side like me, because then you'll have to tilt the kayak up and run new Spectra cord down. It does fit, it is long enough. So you're gonna undo these 2 screws, take your Spectra cord out, and then put the screws back on. And essentially what you're gonna do once your motor mount is installed, it's 4 screws, don't have to demo that, is you're gonna run your steering cord through these 2 eyelets here, and I tie a nice little noose knot on the end there to a carabiner clip, so that way I can clip it on my steering triangle and take it off. Our controller here is mounted to a YakAttack mount, and these screws are not provided in the kit. I'll provide a link in the description for you, but it is a specialty screw I had to go to my local hardware store to pick up. If you don't happen to read the description, it's fine. Just take your controller into your local hardware store. Don't need to crank it down too much. And our controller is installed. I'm going to show you guys where I have it on the Kayak, and then we'll move on to the next step. So on my PWR, I use the factory cutouts here to do a little 4-inch extension and push this out a little bit. And the reason is for our motor lift on the previous setup, right? We use this adjustable carabiner. I'm going to use this for transporting and doing mobile motor stuff for demos. But this clips on the side here and locks in, and our motor cable will be redirected down. But let's go ahead and let's get the motor trimmed up and get it fully installed. So what we want to match up is our trim, and we'll probably trim up. This actually might be where we go, to be honest with you. With the cavitation of the motor, we want our motor head down more in the water because it is going to be pushing more water. Okay, so how our trim was on this one, this is pretty much maxed out at the top, so we'll most likely keep it there. So all we need to really do is loosen up this 10mm bolt here, and we are going to our lift arm in there. It's going to sit just like that, and holds up right. Now before you tighten all of this down, make sure your steering triangle is in line with your motor head. Can't tell you how many times I've tightened this down just adjusting stuff, and the steering triangle is offset. Now a note about these motor arms here is they do make an extra tough one. A lot of people are complaining that the arm's bent. Locked in place, motor's good. We can now put it on our Kayak. So assuming you don't have a Newport motor and you have a PWR, to install the bracket, there's 4 pre-tapped holes. That is where your bracket is going to mount. And like I said, we already ran our foot steering. So once you have your 4 bolts mounted, installing the 300 is super easy. Put your bracket in and you just slide the pin in there. You screw these clamps down like so, and you have your motor. So we said we're gonna do a unique motor lift system, and I wanna give credit to my friend Jack. He gave me the idea for this. He does this on his XTR. We're gonna be using an Anchor Wizard as our motor lift system. I don't like having the pulleys in the front of the Kayak. I don't like having extra cabling flopping around, the rattling that the pulleys can cause. So we're gonna side mount our Anchor Wizard, trim our cord down a little bit, and then we're gonna mount it to a carabiner clip for our motor lift, and we're gonna test it out. Anchor Wizard is installed. We've ran our lines. So when you're setting up your motor, you do carabiner into your pulley here. We're gonna run our wire or our cabling through here. It's going to go through your pulley, right? Doesn't matter what side. This is important because it keeps the motor head stable. All right, so we need to clip our carabiner to here, and it's not going to impede on the foot steering. It's going to be up like that. It's not going to hit. But we want to use a very strong carabiner for this so it doesn't bend, right? This motor is heavy, and they provided these. So to tie this knot, you're going to run it through. Give yourself a good distance, right? You're going to double it back up like so. And then you're going to wrap it. And I wrap it 4 to 5 times. It is thicker rope. It's not braid or anything. So just gonna wrap this. Boom. And then we're gonna go through that hole right there. Pull this up, and then you cinch it down like that. And as you pull, it's gonna tighten the knot. It's secured down, and we've got a knot that's not gonna slip. Pull on the tag in as well. We'll trim the excess later, but need to clip it onto our mount, and time to see if it works. Just tighten it up, and very, very easy. Boom, and it's up. And when we want it to go down, you can loosen it, right? And I don't hit the top button. Some people do for the anchors, but you can loosen it up. But when it gets there, you can hit that top button and it will slide down. Super easy. And one more time. Boom. All right, next up we need to rig our battery, and here's the battery cabling. And how I rig my 36 volt battery is in a NOCO Group 27 box, right? Just Just a very simple box with some foam on the bottom. And the battery we're running today is going to be the LiTime 36 volt. We're running the 24 in the NK180. So let's go ahead and just throw our battery in the box. And next we're going to do is run battery cabling through a through hole, through the YakAttack through hole plug in the front here. And we just run it through there so it's nice and tight. I'm going to run a good amount of it through, and we're going to tuck this cabling in once it's in there. So it's all wire tucked and we don't have a lot of access. So before we even do that, all right, we're good. That's our distance. What we're going to do is pop our battery in, and I'm just going to tuck the wiring, the excess wiring in. Now that that's in there, this is our charging plug for our charger. So we're going to just mount it, but I want it to be able to tuck in to the side there. So when we close this case up, the charging port's there and I can just plug it in and we're good to go. So we got to put both negative terminals on first. If you guys already have a battery case, feel free to skip to the end. Positive terminal. We can do a better wire tuck job when it's all said and done, but now we just want to test it out. And we'll adjust that charging cable in the end. The main concern right now is getting our motor cabling secured. So I'll come out like this, plug into the charger. I can tuck this in, the top will still secure on it. Go ahead and get our top on, and then we can fire this bad boy up. But yeah, this NOCO case snaps like this, and I have a removable battery box I can just plug in to the Kayak. Let's get it plugged in and then see if it works. So for the sake of this, we are going to put our black pack where we'd mount it. And some people do mount their batteries here, like in this slot, but I use this for my drone case for water bottles. So our battery case that we run is on the back and it sits right there. And normally with this motor wiring here, I run that through the gunnels there into the back. There is a little bit of excess cabling, so I am going to zip tie that off eventually, but for now, we just want to see if everything's good. Battery case mounts like that. You got your bungees right here to strap on the top. Plug her in. Let's see how she sounds. Woo! Oh yeah. We're good. All right, we're gonna do one more little run through, but everything is good. We're gonna test our motor lift one more time while we have the battery case and everything on the back, but we have an NK300 on PWR. Let's do one more functions test and then kind of just do a little walkthrough of the Kayak, and then we'll wrap it up. Check our motor lift one more time, just for good measure. Up. Everything's good there. Looks like we're good to go, y'all. Mission complete. The finished product. Well, after we zip tie that off camera. NK300 on the Bonafide PWR. Again, I like to keep my battery box back here and utilize this space for drones and water bottles, but got our controller mounted and our custom Anchor Wizard motor lift kit. Hope you guys enjoyed the install. This is one of my favorite parts of kayak fishing, is setting up rigs and reconfiguring kayaks and just building them out. So the NK300 is going to be a lot more efficient. It means for me, I'm not looking for top speed. I'm looking for lower throttle position, longer distances right at that lower throttle position, while maintaining a 4 to 5 mile an hour speed, which was 100% throttle for the 180 Pro. So the 180 Pro is great. We got the big one for the 2026 season. So if you guys have any questions about how the kayak is set up, we are going to do a full build out, final build for the next season, so you guys can get some ideas. But hope you guys enjoyed. If you have questions about any of the parts used or any of the install instructions, please leave a comment. Love nerding out about this stuff. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.